And we're back.
We're back. I can't wait to have AM on to talk about these new programs, and I wonder because I think they were hosting folks to have conversations about up and coming programming, and I wonder if the coronavirus has really put a crimp in their plans. But he'll come on and talk to me and tell me like what's the good word, because I know they're launching sometime in January, but with all this variant stuff going on, Harry, and schools shutting down left and right.
Yep. And his official title is founder and CEO at District Arts and Education.
Yeah.
I was actually, did you see the promo I did on Instagram?
No.
You didn't? I tagged you in it.
What? You did not.
I did.
You must have tagged somebody. You ain't tagged me because I would have synced it.
I send you a request to collaborate with me.
I don't see that, Harry.
Well,
you got LoveBabz, LoveBabz. That's my Instagram. So. I don't have none of that.
I think I know you.
Let me look. Let me see. No, I don't see anything. I'm looking.
Okay, so then go to. I'm gonna put it up right now. But go to WNHH's profile
on
Instagram. Yep.
Oh, we on radio. Should we be talking?
Yeah, we should be talking. But I'm gonna show. I'm gonna show it right now. This way, the people on Facebook could see what
you've been cooking up. All right. Am I on fire or something? Like, please.
No, you're not on fire.
I'm not in a Trump suit, am I?
Do you want to be?
Okay, there's AM. He's there. He's in the hostage room.
Okay, I'm gonna let him in right now. But
okay, so we're gonna let him in so we can say hi.
And here we go. And I'll try to pull that up. So you're still listening to LoveBabz Love Talk on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
We really should be more serious on this show. Hey, AM.
There we go. Couldn't get myself unmuted. Hi.
So, Harry, are we live now? Am I ready to go before I start chat? Because, AM is really a delight to talk to. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want anybody to miss us.
No, we're definitely live.
So. Oh, hey, if y'all just tuned in, this is LoveBabz Love Talk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. This is the second hour of the show. And I'm so delighted to have back on AM, Bhatt from the district. He's the CEO and founder and all of that. They got some stuff coming up this month. And I want him to come on and talk about it. So, but before that, how are you? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I'm okay.
Been? Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty quiet holidays, I think, as for a lot of folks. But it was good, and dove back into the year just sort of headlong into a whole bunch of stuff. So how about you? How were your holidays?
It was good. I spent I started Thanksgiving at the Mohegan Sun.
Okay. All right.
I hung out with some girlfriends, and then for Christmas we were in Newport. So it was great. I've been having a good time.
Yeah, you were having fun.
Having a good time. Variants and all. Having a good time.
I was being a homebody. You were out having fun.
Oh no, I'm out in these streets. I'm masked up and listen, can't keep a good girl down. So what's new over there at the district? What's happening over there?
So last time we talked about this kind of commitment to the high school students here in New Haven. And since then, we have completed a relationship with the public school system. And we have a program launching in about 2 weeks on the 24th. So I guess actually technically almost 3 weeks. Year-long program, 50 kids.
Wow.
It is being fully funded, and so it is free to families, but it's about a $10,000 program if you look at kind of what we're doing. It is 2 days a week after school from January to June, all summer. Kind of an all-day thing in the summer, and then September to December back to 2 days a week. There's an optional third day on during the school year, and we are going to teach our public high school kids computer science, virtual reality, app making, mobile design. Basically, by the end of this year, these kids are going to either literally be able to go straight into the workforce in entry-level tech jobs if they want it, with the massive, kind of career potential that brings, or they're going to be able to compete for premier computer science programs and scholarships, or the third track, if they want it, and we're going to help them develop in this area as well, become entrepreneurs in tech and start a little, even just website development business if they want, or some other, tech-based small business. So that we got that approval for the pilot, 50 kids. We are in the middle of enrollments right now. I think, I won't characterize, I think about 2/3 of the slots are gone. But there's still, at least 15 or so seats left.
So how do you pick kids? How do you pick? Or is it first come, first serve?
So, the school district has been committed to kind of owning the recruiting and selection side, but pretty much, apply. And if you're a New Haven public school student, and you have, kind of parent guardian consent, because it's a big commitment, it's a year, you'll get in.
Is there some stipend connected to this, or like what happens to the kids who got to work?
So we are working on a couple of things on that front. I mean, there is, during the school year, it's 2 days after school, no homework. We're going to get everything done that you need to get done while you're here. So there's still, kind of time left in the week. Over the summer, it is not full time. We're going to kind of create a structure where kids still have a decent amount of time to work if they so choose to. This is not a promise. Those of you listening, this is not a promise. I'm also working on, by the summer, creating a structure where we can place kids in paid internships that are connected to what we're doing here and what they're learning here, so that they're continuing to do, work that's in that tech space, but have a job connected to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's opened up to all the high school kids in New Haven, whether it's magnet schools or charter schools, or is it New Haven public school? Like who?
It's the public schools. So if you're in one of the NHPS schools, New Haven Public School District.
Okay.
So I think there's 10 high schools, if I'm remembering that correctly.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. It's available to you.
All right. So talk to me about the thinking around this. I mean, I think we talked about this, I don't know, back when you were on in last November, but talk to me about the thinking and why now and what the need is around this kind of training and opportunity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for that question. It's kind of near and dear to my heart, as it were. So, we started with a full stack program here, which is post high school, right? As an alternative to college, and a lot of success, put people in really exciting places in terms of jobs. One of the things we found in the first 2 years of running that program is that kids that came out of our public schools, not just New Haven, across Connecticut, but we're focused on New Haven right now, so I'll focus there. Kids who came out of our public schools would fail our entrance exam 2 to 3 times higher rate than folks who didn't go to our public schools. And when I dug into that,
really?
Yeah. So when I dug into that, it was that we're not, and again, listen, the public school systems are amazing. They're dealing with 1,000 different challenges these last 2 years, 10,000 different challenges. I'm not sure how they're getting through this week with what's going on with the spike, but that's, so this isn't a knock on the education system. The world has just shifted so radically and so quickly that higher ed and kind of public school systems are working to kind of modify. And so there are skills that are required for the kind of computer science program we run that's very business oriented, career oriented, that is very project oriented, that is very much about kind of self-driven, self-structured, the kinds of things you have to do in the workplace, right? If you want to be in organizational life. So that led to early last year, starting to work on these high school programs and say, great, how do we, because again, I'm down here for New Haven, I'm down here for the cities. So I grew up here, I told you that whole story. How do we help and partner with, not try to do something in place of, but how do we partner with school districts to provide some preparatory stuff for our high school kids? Mm-hmm. That then led to, well, can we actually just design a full curriculum where maybe they don't even need to come into our full stack program unless they want to go really deep into that career, right? So that was the thinking, was to to supplement what's already being provided. I think in 5 to 7 years, we're going to be out of business because the schools will have internalized everything that we're doing. I know, that schools, I mean, I talk to folks beyond Connecticut, just, nature of what I'm doing. And every school district is looking at project-based education and career-oriented education and kind of, rethinking those structures. So we're sort of a bridge. We're offering, a bridge program that in 5 to 7 years will be unneeded because schools are already doing it.
Mm. Mm. That's lofty. That's lofty. 5 to 7 years. I'm gonna call you up in 5 to 7 years and see where we are, because that's a little challenging. So what makes you think that high school kids can take on this level of commitment?
I think that in the investing world, you talk about in stocks and stock market, you talk about shorting stocks, betting on a stock to fail. To make money on it. I think we short stock kids in our expectations of them. So we've had kids in here, high school kids in here, and if you saw their projects on just a 4-week cycle, just a 4-week program, what they're able to take on in the right kind of environment. So to answer your question, what makes me think that high school kids can handle this? I've already seen them handle it and thrive and do well. I think they're hungry for it. We're doing the same thing in Stanford with a corporate partner out there, but with the Stanford School District, we're launching the same thing. Smaller pilot group, 25 instead of 50. But we've had those kids in early for what we called immersion days, kind of all-day events. Out of the gate, like they are ready. They're just ready. So I don't have any confidence. I don't have any lack of confidence in the students. I worry more about our, kind of getting ready and kind of handling 50 kids at once and all that. I mean, we're ready for it, but I don't worry about the kids, honestly.
So if this is successful, and it already is, so how do you handle other schools reaching out to you, other school districts reaching out, wanting a little bit of this, wanting some of this experience? I mean, because, New Haven, surrounding towns, our magnet schools thrive on the surrounding towns coming to our magnet schools and coming to our public schools. So how do you answer? How do you talk to them?
I mean, listen, same way we've been talking to Stanford and New Haven, right? We're ready. The secret sauce, the magic formula, whatever you want to call it for us is actually not the tech curriculum. I mean, our tech curriculum is great. I'm biased, but I think it's great. We've proven it with the full stack side. We know how to develop people on the tech side, but there's a lot of that out there. Not this kind of program in Connecticut yet, but there's a lot of programs out there. What's different is the kind of environment we have and the kind of people, and again, just what my background is, I'm biased in this area, choosing folks who know how to work with human beings and create an environment that develops a human being in the context of whatever the technical development is, right? So I think one of the things, if you talk to our kids, that they would tell you pretty consistently is how different the environment is. How different, I've got you work for me, you're a student in one of my programs, you're a grad student. I've been on faculty at UNH for 20 years. You're whoever in my professional life, I got 2 pillars. That's it for every relationship. Pillar 1, accountability. You're going to do what you said you were going to do. And if you don't, you're going to get ahead of it and communicate. And then you're going to figure out, how to restructure things so that you're going to get it done. The degree to which you take on pillar 1 is the degree to which you get to take on pillar 2, which is autonomy. So again, employee, student, et cetera, autonomy, autonomy, autonomy. I don't want to tell you what to focus on in your project. You want to build something related to, gaming, great. You want to build something related to a book you love. You want to build something related to football. I don't care how you want to work. You like to work standing up. You like to work laying down. I don't care. You know what I mean? You want to wear a purple hat and no shoes. Great. As long as you're within safety protocols, great. Full autonomy. And that as a poster is nice. But building a culture where that's what the educational environment is everything is just accountability, autonomy, accountability, autonomy. I think is our secret sauce, and kind of hiring for people who can, and developing people's staff and faculty who can engage that way is the secret sauce. So that's context now to answer your question. We're already in conversations with a couple of other cities. I want to be we want to be in every city in Connecticut, because every city in Connecticut has kids. We have 39,000 kids in Connecticut who the state identifies. This is the last number I saw was in 2019, who the state identifies as underperforming. And underperforming is a nice way of saying we haven't provided them with what they need, and so we're going to blame them for their performance. I want to hit all 39,000, and they're spread out across our cities: Bridgeport, Norwalk, Waterbury. Again, the cities. So we're already in talk with 2 other cities beyond Stamford and New Haven, and I'm open to any conversation. The culture is portable. The technology is secondary. So long-winded answer.
So
you're catching me right after coffee.
Talk to me about the future of tech. I mean, we've seen these little billionaire boys send rockets to space, right? Yeah. We're seeing Elon Musk create a chip to put in people's brains to monitor or do something. I mean, we're seeing tech do these sci-fi things that we've only used to dream about. Now we're starting to see them come to fruition. What are your thoughts on where tech is going and the limitless universe out there for all things tech? Yeah, what are we doing? Are we using it for good or bad? What's out there?
Yeah, a lot of kind of interviews and spaces. I mean, I have to kind of give a disclaimer before things say, hey, listen, I'm going to be candid in my perspectives, because I'm old enough that I don't care if people don't like what I have to say. But with you, I don't have to give a disclaimer. Here's what we have, and when you talk about Musk and you talk about, we have cool technology from the entitled. All right, Musk everybody knows Musk's background, who his parents were and how they made their money. You can dig in on all these folks and where they came from and how they got their money. And so we have cool technology, some of it truly cool technology from the privileged. And what I'm interested in is a generation that, the core curriculum is tech, but there's also a curriculum in here. If you come with us for a year, again, my whole background for 30 years, 25 years is systems change, large scale systems change. There's a whole curriculum you're going to get in here about how to be an agent of change in the world. Right? How do you master interpersonal effectiveness? How do you master your own energy? How do you navigate a system? There's a whole curriculum in here about clarifying your values and kind of the kind of impact you want to have in the world, right? I want the future of tech to be, bleeding edge technologists, those who are making the cool stuff, whose parents didn't own, diamond mines in South Africa, and who come from a different basis of background, values, priorities, perspectives. I want somebody who's as excited about using technology and all that it opens up to solve for food justice issues as they are about, putting a car orbiting the planet, which is really cool, but I'm not sure who it helps other than one man's ego. And so what is the future of tech? That's such a big question. There's so many answers to that. what we're working on is at least a corner of a future of tech that has really, really badass, talented, deeply competent technologists who bias from a strong remembrance of who they are, where they come from, what they value in the world, and how to use tech to build on what they value in their communities.
So Am, how do you get institutions of education, whether it's public school, whether it's at the collegiate level, how do you get them to build in this thinking? How do you get them to move? How do you get them to work toward the future in the way that you are thinking about training young people to think about the future? How do you have these conversations at the very top levels with these, institutions and hallowed halls?
Yeah. So I had two answers to that. First, again, my life, my career is on large scale systems change, right? And one of the things you learn, it's an unfortunate analogy now, but the analogy we always used is that all change, all systems change is viral. It does not happen top down. It doesn't happen as a planned thing. It happens as a little pocket of virus somewhere that then can spread throughout a system. Again, that's an unfortunate analogy these days for obvious reasons. So I don't try to convince anybody of anything in institutional power. I respect where they are because they've worked hard and they're doing, in my experience, they're doing what they feel is right. I respect where they are and I am kind of in their conversation. I don't let their conversation influence one bit what we're committed to doing in this viral space. And then I look for opportunities to, kind of seed the conversation here. And I'm a patient man. I said 5, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years. After I'm dead, maybe. I don't care. I'm a very patient guy. And so I look for opportunities to not fight the system, but to infect the system over time, right? The second answer to it is, a certain maybe just rationalization I gave myself on my previous life because of the kinds of things I worked on was I don't feel responsible for changing the world, Babz. Just 39,000 kids. That's my target. And so the institutions may change, they may not. It's not. I'm not going to take on that burden.
Wow.
50 kids here this year, 25 kids in Stanford, which will grow to 100. 39,000 in Connecticut before I'm done. And that's good enough for me. That's good enough for this stage of my life and the world to be okay.
So in these partnerships, partnerships require you to have conversations with these educational institutions about what you want to do. And that's no easy feat in a public school arena. That's no easy feat to have partnership. It's just not. So talk a little bit about that world and how that came to be. Because I would imagine it has to be a tiny bit of convincing.
It's tough to say what I'm about to say without it maybe sounding like, I don't know, like PR. The New Haven Public School District has been amazing, phenomenal to work with. Early on, I won't mention names, but there was a gentleman, senior administrator, who proactively was like, how do we get to work with you? How do we, and he's kind of brokering conversations because he sees the environment. More important, again, they care about the kids. Mm-hmm. It's like, and they care. And so I said earlier, I'm not trying to convince anybody. I want to speak their language and I want to find a language that we can align on. It's so obvious that they care about the kids. So great, I'm going to align on that conversation because we care about the kids. I don't want to align on, well, we should do project-based or we should do values-based. That's I got to convince people of that. And I don't, too much work. I'm a Gen X slacker, too much work. I want to align on, hey, they care about the kids. We care about the kids. And actually, it's taken a while because all, bureaucratic systems, whether it's a corporation or a school district, have process and policy and all that. So it's taken a while. But again, I've said I'm patient. But in terms of the actual interactions, we haven't met anybody, literally, hand to heart, I haven't met anybody who's like, well, no, the kids don't deserve that, or no, the kids shouldn't do that. Like nobody, right? Because they all care about the kids. And so every conversation we pivot towards that mutual commitment we have about how do we help our kids in New Haven get the best possible future they can and contribute back to the community. So, and Stamford, we found the same thing. Honestly, if you align the conversation to the shared commitment and keep everything else to the periphery until you need to, we're digging the same hole. You know, we're building the same building.
Well, talk to me about race and gender. Are you concerned about race and gender? I mean, how do you plan for bias in the tech industry? How do you plan for historically Black and brown kids being shut out, historically women and girls being shut out? Is that in the periphery? Do you think about those things, or do you like where the chips fall where they may?
Dead center. It's not only not in the periphery, it's dead center in our line of sight. Yeah, we got a huge white male problem in tech, and I don't mean the white males are a problem. I mean, some of them are, but you know, that's just life. They're, you know, every group's got a problem. I mean, if you look at the stats, there's a graph I use pretty regularly, and you look at, you know, tech over the tech employment over the last 30 years, and you know, the white male curve looks like this, and every other demographic, female, regardless of you know, Black, white, Hispanic, you know, it's like this, you know. Black in general, Hispanic in general, it's, you know, the line is like barely moving. The industry knows this. You know, part of what made us successful on the full stack side, on the post-high school side, is that we were graduating people of color who were really, really, really good. And so Sony PlayStation hired one of our folks, and they want to pre-buy 5 or 6 employees. I'm not kidding, right? And so from California, they're reaching out because we're graduating Black and brown kids and women and non-binary graduates who are kind of world-class in their capabilities. This is not the high school program. This is after high school. I want to clarify, we're not going to put you into Sony PlayStation after a year of the high school program. Just manage expectations. So it is very squarely in our line of sight. There's an interesting kind of point in time right now. I'm about to release a video. Industry is sort of begging for, we need more diverse talent, particularly in tech. But here's what it looks like, right? It's like 20 years ago, everybody kind of got, okay, maybe we shouldn't be buying factory food. And I want to buy, not everybody, but a lot of people, I want to go and buy locally produced, locally grown produce, right? And so you go to the farmer's market and, you know, I'm going to buy locally grown organic heirloom tomatoes. And I'm going to support the local farmers and I'm going to eat healthier and right. And so it's like corporations. They're like, okay, we want, you know, diverse talent. And then the conversation I pushed them on is to say, I got it. And we got like, you know, 4 or 5 tomatoes for you. And they're like, we need 50. I said, yes, I know you need 50. Here's what you got to get involved in. The soil needs tending. We can't grow 50 because the soil needs tending. You need to kick in and support tending the soil, high school programs. And up until this past year, corporations didn't get it, in my experience. They're like, well, no, that's not our business. That's school districts. That's, you know, whatever. Tell us when the tomatoes are grown, we'll buy them. And the conversation I'm having these days is, nope, you can't buy tomatoes. We can't grow them fast enough because the soil needs work. We need to invest dollars in the soil. High school programs, middle school programs. And Synchrony Financial in Stamford stepped up in a huge way. They're funding that entire Stamford program. I'm in conversations with 2 other corporations, one in Connecticut, one outside, to fund future New Haven and one other city in Connecticut programs. So to answer your question, you know, Black, brown, female, huge need, huge problem. Corporations have gotten it for the last decade. They've approached it the wrong way, in my opinion. And just in the last year, I'm starting to see some progress in them supporting the kind of work going downstream, as it were, going back to high school that's needed to level the playing field in 10 to 20 years.
Okay. So talk to me about when these kids sign up, when they start, when does the program start? You said sometime this month.
January 24th. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so tell me what's day one like? What are they gonna do on day one when they walk through those doors? Or I don't know if are they walking through the doors or logging in, whatever it is.
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the first day like?
Yeah. So something I'll say before I forget, because I tend to forget these kind of details. So between now and January 24th, every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 5:30, 3 to 6 rather, we have kind of open houses for families and kids that want to come
That's
into the
right.
space and, you know, kind of check it out, talk to us about the program every single Tuesday, Thursday for the next 3 weeks after school, 3 to 6. You can come do that. That includes some Zoom time as well if you can't make it in person, 5 to 6 on those days. And we have bilingual staff. And so if you'd prefer, you know, a conversation in Spanish, we can accommodate that as well. The New Haven staff is bilingual. That'll be teaching. So for anyone who, you know, for whom that support would be useful, we're providing that as well. So get back to your question. From day one, I mean, the first week is sort of, you know, orientation, getting to know each other. But really from day one, when you walk in, you're going to get the culture experience. Like the first thing, you're going to sign in, we're going to give you your badge. But one of the first conversations we're going to have with you is, how are you feeling? Let's get a baseline. How are you feeling? What are your concerns? What are your aspirations? We're going to ground you in you. We're not going to ground you in us. We're going to first ground you in you and ground us in you. Again, in terms of what your concerns are about the next year, what your aspirations are, just how you feel, you know, what you need, how do you like to work? Those kind of conversations are going to take up, you know, the first couple of days that you're here. And then immediately after that, you're going to dive into projects. You know, with the faculty, it's going to be, okay, we're going to build a simple piece of code that's, you know, I don't know, whatever, a piece of bowling software. You're going to build a game. We're going to do that in 3 hours. And we're going to stick you in front of a computer, and we're going to, it's going to be the instructor on a whiteboard. And they're going to start working with you on building from day one. We believe in do and then learn. You know, it's sort of like if you want to study, if you want to learn how to swim, if you want to learn how to skateboard, if you want to learn how to skateboard, do you want to sit and read a book on skateboarding? You want to learn the physics of skateboarding? You want, like, there's all kinds of great stuff you can do to learn about skateboarding, but to learn to skateboard, you got to put your feet on the wheels and go and be imbalanced.
Be ready to bust your ass.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and it's okay. You're not going to get hurt. So that's what we do. We put you on the skateboard from right in the beginning. You're going to be on the skateboard, and it's okay. You're not going to fall. We're going to catch you, and you're not going to get a bad grade, and you're not going to get punished. But you're gonna, you know, find your balance that way, and that's how the learning happens. Do, and in the process of doing, learn, with the instructors there to kind of give you the, you know, the content as you're ready for it.
Wow. And so this is a year commitment.
Yep.
For these young people.
Yep.
And then what happens after they finish? They can make the decision whether or not to move forward, or
so
what's the end game?
Yeah, so there isn't a commitment on this one either just yet, but this is what I'm working towards. I like to talk about this stuff publicly. It keeps me honest of actually, you know, building it. I'm working on a way to have every kid that wants it. So at the end of the year, they graduate. They're going to get a certification. But after that, for the next 6 months, 4 to 6 months, I'm working on a process whereby those kids that want it can do a kind of a mastery capstone project in the context of employment, right? Because after that year, they're going to be employable if they want it. I mean, in a legit kind of entry-level tech specialist job. And so I'm working on a system whereby they can go to work for a local small business or a local agency. Like the optimal for me, and with the ethos we're trying to develop here, is they go to work for a small local agency that's doing something for the community that couldn't afford a website developer, that couldn't afford an app developer, right? And so the kid gets to work on a mastery project for a live business. The agency gets a piece of technology they'd never be able to afford, but that helps them in the community advocacy work they're doing, right? And then I get a corporate funder who's paying, that child an internship salary for that time. And so, so everyone wins, right? Stays in the ecosystem. The agency gets something, the student gets something, the community gets something. It's all part of development. And the thing we always got to work on is who's going to fund it. But I got a year to figure that out.
That's pretty good, because this is a very heavy community for nonprofits, big and small, and all in between. So I think you have a great audience and a great network to tag for these young people to tag into, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So that's option one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. So that's option one. Again, that's not a commitment yet, but I'm fairly confident I'm going to be able to make that happen. Option two, we're in early stages, and we'll be done, I think, by the summer, with another group in New Haven who's got who I love and who's got a strong reputation around entrepreneurship. And option two is going to be, they're going to go into an entrepreneurship program right out of our program. So now they've got hardcore tech skills, and they're going to learn how to launch a business in a really rigorous way, so that by the end of that next 6 months, they can start a legitimate, small tech business right here in New Haven. And then option three is they're going to use the certification, the training, the skills, and leverage that into, they want to go into traditional education, but now they're going to be able to compete for places and scholarships in really prestige programs.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm so glad that you came on to talk about this.
I'm so glad you invited me. I mean, it's very generous of you to have me back. I appreciate it.
Oh no, I dig you. So
I dig you.
You. I dig what you're doing over there. Yeah. So I was like, I want to be a part of this. Like, I want to make sure that I do my part to make sure that people know about this, and people are very excited. And so look, we got the program, the flyer up, so that people can see it.
Yeah, if you go down to the bottom there, there's the email. That's the kind of easiest way. I mean, you could scan that, but if you just go, this one doesn't. Oh, there it is. Anissa@Transform. We should have popped out a little more. If you see right there, it says email Anissa@. That's the one. Yep. That's the kind of simplest way for folks who are viewing online. But hit our website, hit any of our social media, any of that. We got good people monitoring those things. So get in touch with us any way you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I've truly enjoyed having you on, and I want you to come back on periodically so that we can just talk about the progress of the program and the young people in the program and this initial cohort.
You know what I'd love to do? And I'm going to put you on the spot live here. I'd love to get you, once we get students in here. Sorry about that. You want to do a show from here? We got all the equipment, and you could maybe have kids on as your guests.
Oh, I'd love to do what? I would love to do it. That's a yes. Harry, we could do that, right? Harry's our producer and our station manager. And
you could Zoom from wherever. So yes.
Yeah, we could. It's a yes. So you just set that up. We could make that happen. I would happily come over there.
Yeah, I am endlessly impressed with these kids, and so I'd love to get them. I think you're going to love them, and so we'll absolutely make that happen.
Oh, that would be cool, cool. Because I really would love to talk to them, and I'm like you. I love young people. I think they. I mean, yes, they are everything for the future, and if you could give them the tools to make a life and a world for themselves, man, I'm so for that. So thank you, AM. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you, Harry, in the background there.
Are you still hosting these conversations on Tuesdays? I have a friend who really would like to meet you.
Every Tuesday at 3:00 Tuesday tea, we set up a teapot, some cookies, and our kind of beanbag chairs. Every single Tuesday is community hour, 3 to 6.
Okay. I'm going to bring her through because she really would like to meet you. And, awesome. And I said I would find out if y'all are still doing it in these COVID times. But it's a yes, so you'll see me soon. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you, Harry. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll be back. Stay safe out there. Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut. And you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.